Bonjour! Okay, today we're going to talk about something that we need in order to do all of the things on this slide. So if you look at the screen, you'll see there's a bunch of different activities. And in order to do all these things, we need one major thing. So we need to get up in the morning. What do we need to go out on a date, to a restaurant, to go to a movie, to go to the dentist? What do we need to know in order to do all of these things? To get to work, to go on a flight, to take a train, to watch your favorite TV show? We need to know how to tell time. If we don't know how to tell time, we won't get up on time in the morning. We might miss our date with our favorite friend. We won't make it to the dentist. We'll be late for the movie. The plane will take off without us. We won't get to work and our boss will be mad at us. We'll miss our favorite show. We won't get on the train to get us where we're going. So in order to be able to do all these things, one very simple fact is that we have to be able to tell time. So that's one of the first things we want to learn when we're learning a foreign language, so that when we're there, or even when we're not, we can find out about the time that things happen so we can make sure we're on time to them. So first thing I'd like you to write down in your notes is this question at the top of the screen, which is, quelle heure est-il? It means, what time is it? Say it after me. It's, quelle heure est-il? Again, quelle heure est-il? Remember, you can use your pause button if you want to say things more than once or to take time writing. So, quelle heure est-il? What time is it? So that's a major important question, right? No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you always want to know what time it is. And if you don't know, it kind of leaves you feeling lost. Quelle heure est-il? What time is it? The word heure means time, and it also means hour. So that's why it looks like the word hour in English. So to say the time on the hour, we say, and it's written right here under letter A, il est, it is, then the number of the hour, and then heure. The S is in parentheses because there's no S there if it's singular, so if it's 1 o'clock. But if it's 2 o'clock or above, there's always an S at the end. Il est blank heure. We're going to jump ahead and then come back to the screen. It is 1 o'clock then, right? We're going to take une, which is a word for one. One can be un or une. When we're talking about an hour, it's feminine, so it's une. Il est une heure. So I'd like you to copy that one down. Il est une heure. Quelle heure est-il? Il est une heure. Okay, say it after me. Il est une heure. Notice I'm pronouncing that T. Il est une heure. It's because une starts with a vowel, and we can't have two vowel sounds next to each other. We can't put a and une next to each other. We have to pronounce the T. Excuse me. Il est une heure. Super. For every hour, we do the same thing. So let's look at these hours, right? We're just going to look at 1 through 11 for the moment, right? 1 heure, 2 heures, 3 heures, 4 heures, 5 heures. So say them after me. Actually, don't say them yet after me. I'm just going to bop back for 1 second. There is an exception. When we're talking about 12 o'clock a.m., which is midnight, or we're talking about 12 o'clock p.m., which is noon, we don't use this formula with il est and heure. We just say il est minuit for it's midnight. Say it after me. Il est minuit. And il est midi for noon. Say that after me. Il est midi. Il est minuit. Il est midi. Fantastic. So now let's look at this chart, which we kind of bopped around there a little bit. Let's look at this chart again. We have quelle heure est-il? What time is it? To say it is, we say il est. And you've seen il est before to talk about he is. It also means it is. I'm sorry. So say them all after me. Il est une heure. Be sure to use the pause button so you don't have to wait too long. Il est 2 heures. Il est 3 heures. Il est 4 heures. Il est 5 heures. Il est 6 heures. Il est 7 heures. Il est 8 heures. Il est 9 heures. Il est 10 heures. Il est 11 heures. Il est midi. Il est minuit. Excellent. And if you like, you can rewind a bit, right? Go back and say them over again as many times as you like. To distinguish between AM and PM, the French use these phrases. Now, normally in France, they use the 24-hour clock, which means they go from 0, which is midnight, to 24, well, to 23, 23:59, right? So they don't have to say AM and PM. But we're not going to do the 24-hour clock. We're going to do this the way Americans do it. And the French will certainly understand you if you talk like this. So to say in the morning, AM, I'd say, for example, il est 8 heures du matin. Say it after me, du matin. Du matin. In the afternoon, répétez, de l'après-midi. De l'après-midi. And in the evening, du soir. Du soir. So I can say 4 o'clock in the morning, il est 4 heures du matin, or I can say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, il est 4 heures de l'après-midi. I can say it's 9 o'clock in the morning, il est 9 heures du matin, or I can say it's 9 o'clock at night, il est 9 heures du soir. And obviously, if you're going to use the 24-hour clock, you don't need to worry about saying those things. But since I don't ask you to learn the 24-hour clock, we need to know those phrases so we can distinguish between du matin, de l'après-midi, and du soir. Excellent. Let's put them together. Il est 2 heures du matin. Let's say these sentences after me. Il est 10 heures du matin. Is that morning, evening, or afternoon? Right, du matin is the morning. Il est 2 heures de l'après-midi. And that is morning, afternoon, or evening? Afternoon. And say the last one. Il est 8 heures du soir. And that is morning, afternoon, or evening? Evening, exactly. Great. So remember the exceptions. I just want to remind you one more time. We have these exceptions. If it's the middle of the day, it's il est midi. And if it's midnight, il est minuit. I always remember them because they sound a lot like English. Midi, midday, minuit, midnight. Pretty easy to remember that way. Midi, minuit. So let's practice these. We're going to look at these times and we're going to try to say them in French. Are you ready? Here we go. How do I say it's 1 o'clock? And again, you can use the pause button so you have a chance to get it out. Il est 1 heure. It's 8 o'clock. Il est 8 heures. So after you hear me say it successfully, then I want you to repeat it again after me. So you're saying it yourself, then I say it, then you repeat after me. How about it's 3 o'clock? Il est 3 heures. It's 7 o'clock. Il est 7 heures. It's 10 o'clock. Il est 10 heures. It's 2 o'clock. Il est 2 heures. It's 12 o'clock noon. Il est midi. Fantastique. It's 4 o'clock. Il est 4 heures. Excellent. Il est 4 heures. It's 12 o'clock midnight. I don't know why there's that white square there. Midnight. Il est minuit. Il est minuit. It's 3 o'clock. Il est 3 heures. It's 1 o'clock. Il est 1 heure. Oops, that one didn't work out very well, did it? Told you right away. Il est 6 heures. Let's say it anyway. Il est 6 heures. Il est minuit. It's 7 o'clock. Il est 7 heures. Il est 7 heures. It's 2 o'clock. Il est 2 heures. Il est 2 heures. It's 9 o'clock. Il est 9 heures. Il est 9 heures. It's noon. It's 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. Il est midi, right? Midday, midi. Il est midi. Excellent. There are a couple more questions we're going to want to ask besides just what time is it, right? How about when is something? At what time does school start? At what time does the concert start? To do this in French, we say à quelle heure, at what hour is. À quelle heure est? I'd like you to write that question down, please. Say it after me first. It's à quelle heure est? À quelle heure est? And you'll see there are some sample questions and answers here, right? We have à quelle heure est le concert? What time is the concert? So in English, we just say what time. In French, you say at what time. À quelle heure est le concert? And the answer is le concert est, it's at 8 heures. Le concert est à 8 heures. Le concert est à 8 heures. Everyone say that after me. Le concert est à 8 heures. Fantastique. You could ask me, à quelle heure est-ce que l'école se commence? Oh, I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Est-ce que l'école commence? And then I would say, à quelle heure? À 8 heures. Right? What time does school start? At 8 o'clock. À 8 heures. Now, I might add in there morning or night. Chances are the concert's at night, right? Le concert est à 8 heures du soir. Right, in the evening. À quelle heure est la classe? Right, what time is the French class? À quelle heure est la classe? La classe est à 8 heures. Class is at 8 o'clock, right? On Mondays, our class is at 8 o'clock. À quelle heure est le film? Let's say we're going to see a 7 o'clock movie. À quelle heure est le film? Le film est à 7 heures. Le film est à 7 heures. La classe est à 8 heures. La classe est 7 heures. I'm sorry, I'm messing up here. La classe est à 8 heures du matin. Le film est à 7 heures du soir. 7 heures du soir. Okay, now we're not always going to be talking just about the minutes, right? Sometimes we're going to have to be talking, the hours, right? We're going to be talking about minutes after the hour or minutes in front of the hour. So if you look at this little chart on the screen, you'll see we have 3 times. We have 10:10, 6:25, and 7:35. In English, all we do is say the hour and then the minutes after. It is 10:10. It is 6:25. It is 7:35. In French, it's very close, but you need to have the word heure in there. So if it was 10 o'clock, I would say, il est 10 heures. But since I'm now saying it's 10:10, I'm going to say, il est 10h10. So in order to indicate the minutes, you're going to put the hour, heure, and the minutes to say the minutes after an hour. Il est 10h10. Say it after me. Il est 10h10. Again, il est 10h10. Fantastic. The next one, we're not just going to say il est 6 heures, it's 6 o'clock, because now it's 25 minutes after 6 o'clock. So we're going to say il est 6h25. It's 6 o'clock 25, which sounds a little weird to us, but that's the way they do it. They just keep the word heure in there. We drop the o'clock, right? We just say it's 5:25. But they would say it's 5 hours 25. So here it's 6:25. Say it after me. It's il est 6h25. Il est 6h25. Excellent. So we have il est 10h10. Il est 6h25. And the last one, 7:35. To say it's 7, we just say il est 7 heures, right? Il est 7 heures. We just plop the 35 right on the end. Il est 7h35. Répétez, repeat. Il est 7h35. Again, il est 7h35. Beautiful. So now we know all we have to do is say the hours and the minutes after. But there are some times that we don't actually use the numbers. Instead, we use words. For example, half past in English. I don't know if you've heard people say that. What time is it? It's half past. Meaning it's half past 1 hour on our way to the next hour. In French, we do not say it's 1:15 or 1:30 or 1:45. We use these expressions instead. So if you look at the examples, we have one that's 1 o'clock, and we have one that's 2 o'clock, and we have one that's 3 o'clock. But you'll notice it's not just 1 o'clock, it's 1:15, right? So we add a quarter, and it sounds like this. Il est une heure, that's it's 1 o'clock, right? Il est une heure et quart, and a quarter. So we're adding a quarter of an hour, which is 15 minutes. Say it after me. Il est une heure et quart. Il est une heure et quart. Excellent. When I'm saying half past, so 30 minutes after, I'm not going to say 2:30. I'm going to say 2:30. It is 2 hours and a half. Say it after me. It's il est 2:30. Il est 2:30. So basically, instead of saying 15, you're saying et quart. And instead of saying 30 for your minutes, you're saying et demi. Il est 1h15. Il est 2:30. When we want to say quarter of, though, we have to change things a little bit because it is 2:45 on that clock on the bottom right, if you look. But we're not going to say 2:45. We're going to say 3 o'clock minus a quarter of an hour, which is exactly the same as saying quarter of 3, if you think about it. Right? It's 3 o'clock minus a quarter of an hour. This is the kind of thing French teachers love to test you on, so make sure you get it and you understand it. It's minus a quarter of an hour. So let's look at how we say minus a quarter of an hour. Say it after me. It's moins le quart. Moins le quart. Now let's say the whole time for this clock down here. Il est 3h moins le quart. Il est 3h moins le quart. So you'll notice you have to go up a number. When you say quarter of 3, you have to go from 2:45 up to 3 and then backwards to say il est 3h moins le quart. It's one of those things that if you just practice it enough, you get used to it. It's not that hard. Il est 3h moins le quart. Say them all after me again. Il est 1h15. Il est 2:30. Il est 3h moins le quart. Excellent. So let's try some of these, right? We already know that's supposed to say noon, I think, right? We already know how to say it's noon, right? Everyone say that in French. How do you say it? Il est midi. We're just going to go over a couple of the hours by themselves first. Il est 1h. Made a mistake and brought that up too soon. Il est 2h05. Il est 2h05. Il est 3h15. So I'd like you just to repeat them after me. Il est 3h15. Il est 4h30. Il est 4h30. Il est 6h moins le quart. Il est 6h moins le quart. Il est 6h55. Il est 6h55. So remember, all you're doing is you're saying it's 6 o'clock and adding the 55. Il est 6h55. Il est 7h. Right? No extra minutes. Il est 7h. Il est 8h10. Il est 8h10. Il est 9h15. Il est 9h15. Il est 11h moins le quart. And let's review how we got that, right? It's 10:45. That's a quarter of an hour before 11. So it's 11 o'clock minus a quarter. Takes us back to 10:45. Say it one more time. Il est 11h moins le quart. See, even I make mistakes on this stuff. Il est 11h30. Il est 11h30. Il est midi. Il est midi. Il est minuit. Il est minuit. Again, here we go. Same one, 11 o'clock minus a quarter. Say it after me. Il est 11 heures moins le quart. Il est 11 heures moins le quart. Il est 3 heures et quart. So this one we just added on, no thinking about that. Il est 3 heures et quart. It's a lot of repeating, but that's how we learn this stuff. Il est 8h10. Il est 8h10. Il est 11h30. Right? So we don't say 11:30, we say half past. Kind of like saying 11 o'clock and a half. Oops, wait, I went too fast. That's okay. Il est midi. Il est midi. I believe we are almost done. Il est 2h05. I think we're repeating ourselves a little bit. Il est 9h30. Il est 6h55. Il est 6h moins le quart. Notice again, it's 5 here, but we have to go up to 6 to go minus a quarter. So it becomes 5:45 is il est 6h moins le quart. We've done midi a million times, right? Right. Excellent. So now we've gone through all of these and we've practiced all the different ways to say time. In your independent work, you have some written practice for this. You can go back through this video as many times as you want to. Also, I will make another video after this one that will just be for practicing saying them. So just a sort of drill of going through and saying them. So there will be that one also that you can look at. But right now, we want to go on to our independent work and do, there's, I think, 4 sets of written practice to help us practice with time. OK? Fantastique! Excellent! Je dis au revoir!